okay, as long as everyone knows there's a dog running around.
There's a dog running around, so we might occasionally hear a little bark in case there's a monster.
No, she hasn't barked since I've been there, but she sort of runs around making.
Oh, if she hears something outside, she'll be.
Oh yeah.
She'll protect us. Yeah. You know how like in movies when dogs bark when something nasty is arrived, and then the dog is quickly dispatched. It's that kind of barking.
Oh, that's good.
Nellie's got a bit more fight about her though.
She's very loud walking. That's the thing about cats. Just looking at you funny. The way cats walk, you don't hear them, but dogs are very noisy walkers.
Welcome, everyone, to the 5th episode of Dandelion, Witcher and the Wardrobe, where we are looking at, or reviewing, episode 4 of the Witcher Netflix
What's it
series.
called?
It is called Of Banquets, Bastards and Burials. So, three large topics they've decided to stick on there.
All fun things.
Yes. Probably one. Banquet I'd find quite funny. Fun even. Yeah, fun. Yeah, I like a banquet.
Yeah.
Modern day banquet, though, is just an all-you-can-eat buffet, isn't it? That's the equivalent.
I mean, I don't think I've been to a thing where it's been called a banquet before.
But I think Pizza Hut should, rather than call it other eating place available, you know, they do that all-you-can-eat
buffet.
Yeah.
All-you-can-eat banquet.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. But that does sound like there will be dancing, which there is in this episode, isn't there?
Banquets are more for dancing.
Yeah.
Dancing and partying.
It's like a party.
Weddings are banquets, aren't they? You have wedding banquets, don't you?
Do you?
Yeah. Well, if you don't, I've just decided that you do have them. So we've moved on this episode now to another of the short stories, which is quite a crucial sort of story, and then we've also seen. I mean, the show opens with Yen, and she is escorting.
Actually, it opens with Geralt in the bath.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it does.
We'll touch on the bath later.
Yeah, we will come to that later. That feeds into.
I didn't hear that. Please try that again.
How did you think we were talking to?
Did we say anything that sounded like an Amazon-related person?
We did. It's okay. It unplugged it.
Won't be
so we got the Alexa device unplugged. You got a dog. It's just.
It's a professional setup. This is.
We'll come back to Geralt naked in the bath.
So. Yen is an interesting little subplot. She's escorting.
So this is later on, isn't it, as well?
Because, this is further on, and she's obviously been assigned to her duties of serving a kingdom, and she's escorting a princess and her baby, and then is ambushed by an assassin, and then. We've seen actually a few of these scenes from the trailers. You remember the portals into the where she tries to escape and she takes.
And if you know the game, that you know that Yen is always going through portals.
Yeah. And
Geralt hates portals.
Well, Geralt does hate portals, and you're right with Yen and what portals do, but or just with portals.
I'm sorry, I don't know what the dog is doing.
Okay. Right.
Sorry, carry on.
I'm looking after my girlfriend's dog, so that's part of the reason why we have a dog here. Anyway. So, Yen is jumping through portals. If you remember, right at the very start, Yen is shown to have the natural ability.
She accidentally does it.
Yeah, she has the natural ability.
When she gets stressed, she's getting bullied and she just turns up. Yeah.
So, Yen is a good person to try and escape from, but they've been tracked. The assassin finds them, and then Yen decides, after some rude words from the princess, that she's not going to risk any more than necessary, and disappears herself, and then tries to come back and save the baby, but Yen is attacked by the assassin. She does so, and then ends up on the beach. If you remember this scene,
I didn't like it. I didn't like the what happens to the baby.
Well, the baby dies.
Yeah,
obviously. Yeah. It was quite a dark scene.
Wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting a baby to die in this show, and
also it fed into the whole thing with Yen, because wanting to be a mother, wanting to be
it's not possible for her to have a baby, is it? Because she's had her uterus and everything, everything removed.
So it was quite I hadn't heard this story before. It's obviously something they'd written for Netflix, and it was a very short sort of bit in it, but it was the one thing that stood out for me was the dead child and burying it on the beach as well.
But you're a doctor, so you're used to these things.
Burying children on beaches.
I don't know what it's like. The reason that the baby's mum, that princess, is it?
Yeah.
Or queen or whatever, the reason the princess is killed is because she's not having a boy.
Yes, so that was it. Yes. So she'd run out of chances to provide a male heir to the throne. That was it. And
that's why the king had decided, or whoever had decided, to just get rid of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the baby as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite. Yeah. Dark, but really seeing establish Yen's feelings and drive towards motherhood.
Yeah.
And which is actually something that's a theme that is really strong throughout the games and the books as well, and we'll see more of too, because as you mentioned, that's been taken away as a payoff to her transformation as a sorceress.
Did they say why that is?
No, it's never explained.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Sorceresses aren't allowed. I wonder if wizards have their parts removed.
Is it sort of like, as you said with in the last episode about having a degree means you're a sorceress, but
they remove your right to have a child. Do you think wizards have the
witches
the balls removed?
Witches have their fertility removed as well.
Witches.
Yeah. But yes, so that was the first theme, and then also we saw Ciri in this episode as well.
She now lives in a forest.
I love forests.
Do you?
I love forests. I love running through forests.
You support Nottingham Forest.
I support Nottingham Forest.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel very at home in trees, so it was.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, no. It was also. If you notice, the sun's always low in Broccolon as well. It's always glaring out at you. It's always like a warm.
No, I didn't.
Warm light. If you watch it again, just watching it, it's almost like you're in a spa. It's like, welcome to Broccolon. Broccolon. Yeah.
Broccoli and Babylon.
Broccoli and Babylon, by the rivers of Broccolon, and Ciri's there.
She's there with her little elf friend.
Yeah, with
Dara.
And Ciri goes to drink it from the source.
And the water makes you forget bad stuff?
It made Dara drinking it forget about Calanthe.
That's a weird bark.
It's because she's not quite barking yet.
Sounds like she's coughing.
Yeah.
Right.
Nelly, come here.
Yeah, so now Ciri is getting... It's alright.
Yeah.
Ciri is now getting raised by the forest people.
Yeah, or being looked after at least for now.
And then...
So they're the two sort of sub-stories in this, but the main story...
The main one is Geralt.
And one of the favourite characters also brought back...
Yaskia.
The old Buttercup.
Yeah, Dandelion, Buttercup. Yaskia is back. Giving him a bath, helping Geralt with his bath, I think, at the start.
Yeah, and then in a tavern, he's just fought off a monster from the inside as well.
Yeah. We had to take a break because the dog went mad, but now she's on my lap.
Turned out there was another dog in the world that started barking.
In the world. Yeah.
Or maybe it was a monster. We don't know. We didn't actually find out. We could have.
There's monsters around here. We're in Oxenfurt.
Yep. And there could be a Doppler outside, maybe acting as another dog.
That's probably it. Where were we? And Yaskia was like, "Hey, I'm going to this party. You should totally come." And Geralt's like, "I don't know."
And before this though, he'd finished a job, wasn't he? He finished a monster from the inside. He'd been swallowed by this monster and then cut it open, went into the tavern where he was telling people that the person telling the story in the tavern was that the Witcher had died, and Yaskia was like, "Nah, he's fine."
Oh yes, and then he comes in.
And then he asks, because Yaskia's a little bit of a dirty. He's worried, isn't he? Because there's people that that he wants Geralt to come along to sort of look after him, because there are people there who may be related to some people he has had intimate relations with.
Yeah, he's had sex with everyone.
Yeah, and this is picked up pretty early on by one of the people after they arrive. But this is one of the other major stories, and this is where we find out the pre-Ciri situation. Now, a lot of people find it very confusing about the, who is who in this situation. So we saw Calanthe in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if you know, but Calanthe, well, you do know.
Is it Calanthe?
I think it's Calanthe, yeah. But that is Ciri's grandmother.
Yes, so I was actually confused by this. When the episode started, I think I mentioned before how I get a bit confused I got confused by the time jumping forward and back, and I wasn't sure what was going on. I thought maybe that the person getting married in this episode, I thought is that Ciri grown up? I was quite confused because he's got the same colour hair.
They do look similar, and that's because it's Ciri's mum. So Pavetta is Calanthe's daughter, who is also Ciri's.
So that's mum. Ciri's grandmum.
Yeah. Who
we see die, don't we?
Very early on.
Yeah.
But then we go back, and this is the whole sort of time drop thing. And we have people coming to
the banquet.
Yeah, the banquet, and people coming to vie for Pavetta's hand. Now, do you remember last episode we talked about Nilfgaard and whether they were evil or not? Now, at this point, do you remember in the banquet, all the people from the kingdoms are coming and saying, "Oh, I'd like to take so and so's hand," and then someone from Nilfgaard puts themselves forward to marry Pavetta. Now, if they were really evil Nilfgaard at that stage, surely there was no way that they would be allowed to send someone. So that's my point.
Right.
I think Nilfgaard became evil.
Is he the guy who gets insulted by her?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's what did it. I think that's what made him evil. Yes, I didn't know, because I only know Nilfgaard as evil based on the game and the start of this series. They were just always bastards,
Yeah. Well, they're always the ones that are... Well, they're trying to take over, aren't they?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Trying to conquer.
Yeah. So,
yes.
Well, we see and then we meet Pavetta's suitor who finally arrives. And then
well, before that, you get some Jaskier singing.
We do, yeah. A little bit of ballads.
Oh fishmonger, come quell your daughter's hunger. To pull on my horn as it rises in the morning.
Yeah.
He'd be good in a sort of
X Factor.
Then we meet finally a knight comes.
So
in,
there's all these suitors coming up, being like showing off their skills, trying to marry.
And also, Calanthe is giving Geralt the sort of notion that she might need his help to sort out something, which was going to be this knight that arrived to claim hand in marriage.
Guy comes in with these knight helmet on.
Yeah, and then
he says, "I'm not allowed to remove it."
And he tears it off, and
someone pulls it off,
and what's revealed is
he's a hedgehog man.
Quite, yeah. So I'm sure in the books it was more sort of wolfy, but
was he?
I think so. In the books, it's more wolfy.
He's a wolf man in the books.
And then a fight scene breaks out, and I don't know if you've seen it in the.
So they all go to. So there's a hedgehog man.
Yeah.
And then the queen is like, "Kill it."
Yeah.
And Geralt says no because he's cursed. He's not bad. And then a bunch of other men at the party try to kill Hedgehog Man.
Yes, and they all start trying to.
But he's a good fighter.
It's the law of surprise, so he's claiming what is owed to him because he helped save the king, and the king's promise to him was that he could have what was his, but he did not know yet, which turned out to be Pavetta, who was child. So also, when the fight broke out, I don't know if you know this. I found this out that do you remember the scene in Blaviken, the end fight scene, which was brilliant? So that was by a different choreographer to the rest of the fight scenes, and this fight scene and all the other ones as well. That was different. But it's been reported that the choreographer for the fight scenes in The Witcher, for all the other one, isn't coming back for the next series. So this whole fight broke out, and then Geralt in.
To defend Hedgehog Man.
I don't know its technical name. The Urchin is the name.
Urchin.
Yeah. And then we find at the end that afterwards the Queen finally, after attempting to murder him,
Well, she does it sneakily, doesn't she? She like walks over like, I'll accept you, and then tries to stab him.
Yes, that's right. And it's interesting because in the first episode you're on Calanthe's side for almost everything.
Yep.
And you see, and she dies obviously, and you see her in this episode. It's a very different light, and you suddenly, it's a different take, isn't it?
Nuance. A little bit bad, bit good.
And then Geralt, and then at the end of the fight, he wants to thank Geralt.
Hold on, doesn't that before so when Calanthe tries to stab Hedgehog Man, doesn't that lady then do that big
scream,
they're like floating in the air and stuff?
Oh yes, yeah.
That's quite a big thing that happens. Goes on for a while.
Yeah.
It's like a big sort of tornado almost.
Which is showing that she's got powers, basically.
Yeah.
I quite liked this episode. I liked this story. I've read the story in the books as well, and it's a key story in where Ciri comes from, how Geralt and Ciri are first intertwined. So this is the link. This is the moment. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, what is the point of Ciri and Geralt? You know, why is this all this destiny stuff? It's because of this law of surprise, where Geralt says at the end of the episode, when he's offered a prize, he, you know, almost sarcastically says, "I'll have whatever it is that is yours that you do not know yet."
Should have just taken cash.
Yeah,
would have saved a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
That's nice. I didn't know about this at all. See.
Yeah. So this whole series is getting into place. It feels a lot of the groundwork as to where there's a lot to take on if you're uninitiated to the games and the book. Not only the universe, but also the sort of how things have come together. And so you really feel that it's starting to get into the meat of it, and especially when we get on to series 2, because all these stories in the first 2 books are short stories, but they link people together. How Jaskier met Geralt, how Geralt makes.
How close would you say this episode was to that short story? Was it like bang on?
I mentioned that Jaskier, I'm pretty sure, Dandelion wasn't present at it at the banquet. But other than that, apart from a few timing things, because it was something to do with midnight or when the bells went off, and Calanthe in the books has tricked the knight that comes in by making the bells go off earlier. So he's told the people who ring bells to ring them earlier. Then the bells go and he removes his helmet, and it revealed that he's not human. Yeah, exactly. And then a very sort of similar scene breaks out with the fighting, and then that is how they realise that how it's all linked in together at the end. So quite a lot in this happened. How much do you think you can remember?
Oh, I think this will be a tough one for me.
Tough one?
Yes.
Because it's quiz time. For Bilal to see what he does remember from it. So,
and what the listeners remember.
So, play along at home. When Geralt enters the tavern at the start, when everyone thinks he's died and he's there, what do everyone start singing?
Toss a coin to your witcher.
They do, yes.
Yes,
famous
because
ballad,
yeah.
Jaskier gets them all going for that.
Yeah.
After that, we find out that Jaskier wants to bring him along to this banquet that he's been invited to perform at for Queen Calanthe. Before he asks for that favour, how much commission does he suggest he should be getting from Geralt in his fights, percentage-wise? How much commission does he thinks it's worth for making Geralt famous?
20?
10.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I know. Most
good agent.
Yeah, I was going to say, good agent, isn't it? Like,
agents are usually 15%.
Or 15 or 20 on live shows
20
as well.
Yeah, I know.
What? So moving on the banquet, when the Queen blesses the marriage between the two, between Urchin and Pavetta, what happens to...
So yeah, she blesses the marriage. Hedgehog Man starts coughing like an animal that he partly is.
I feel like you got something really
then-
against him.
He's just a hedgehog man, you know. I don't know.
The animal he really is.
Maybe I'm racist to hedgehog guys. The curse is broken, right?
Mhm.
And he's a human.
He is. And what's his name?
Ooh. It's not Emir. No, I can't remember.
Emir is like
Yeah.
the Nilfgaard.
Yeah, no,
He's
no.
like
I've
complete
confused him.
opposite, yeah.
Yeah.
Any ideas?
No.
Begins with D.
D. No. What is
Duny.
it? Duny?
Duny. D-U-N-Y.
Do you know his surname?
I don't know.
Smith.
Duny Smith.
Okay. So I didn't know that.
DS written on the helmet. And then finally, at the end, we find out that that Ciri will be the child's surprise. When Geralt says, "I will have what is yours, which you do not know yet," how do they know that Pavetta is pregnant? What happens?
She throws up?
She vomits.
Yeah. Which could have been the food at the banquet.
Exactly. It could have been the food of the banquet. It could have been norovirus. What they're suggesting here is
Could have been that she was just in the air, spinning around. And
it's a bit of a loose link, isn't it? That because not everyone. So vomiting.
everyone's like, "Oh, you've been having sex with a hedgehog man."
But vomiting is they're assuming, and it's made clear to us that it's morning sickness.
Yeah.
Also,
Well, you're a doctor.
Yeah,
right?
known technically as hyperemesis gravidum.
Bloody hell.
But not everyone gets it. You know, some people get pregnant and don't have that. But I'm with you. If someone is vomiting, it's not necessarily going to be, especially.
They need to get you on board for the next series as like a medical.
Yeah, because there was the whole hysterectomy thing, which was ridiculous per vagina, and that just doesn't happen. Then we've got this, vomiting thing right after having a banquet. She could have overeaten. She could have had a dodgy turkey because it might have been Christmas around that time. I don't know.
Was it?
It was for us because it was.
Oh, it was
released,
for us.
It was released on the 20th.
Yep.
I don't know if they celebrate Christmas.
You watched it on Christmas Day, is what you mean.
So, yeah, it seems a bit far fetched that would be the notion. But what else are you going to do? How else are you going to?
Oh, I think it made sense though. She throws up, and then her mum looks at her like, "You and hedgehog boy."
There's probably no other thing you could do. How else could you signify that someone might be pregnant apart from them immediately?
She can be like, "Oh, my water just broke," like they say in American rom-coms.
But that would be 9 months later, obviously.
Damn. I can feel it kicking. No,
So
that's
miss
later.
miss having a period, but that would be a month or so.
It'd be a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
In the middle of the. Yeah. I guess that's the best way to signify it.
She could have said.
Fair enough.
She could have just turned to Geralt and said, "We've been trying."
I just realised something. Because we're stupid. The episode begins with a baby girl dying. Ends with the birth of a baby girl.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Which we should have realised.
What? So a joyous. Oh no, not the birth. Obviously the.
No, not
conception.
the birth, but yeah, the concept. Well, we know.
Not the moment.
But we know a baby girl is a very important baby girl is going to be born. Thank you so much for listening to another one.
Yes.
Remember, do the 5-star on iTunes. Leave a message and we'll read it out. Whatever. Tell us what part of the world you're in, because I love how international this is. I didn't expect it. Tweet us, Witcher_podcast. What were you going to say?
I was going to say subscribe as well.
Oh yeah.
Tell other people about it.
Tell your cousins.
We said.
I think we've covered everything.
Yeah.
And we'll see you for the next episode.
Thank you, and that'll be fun.
Enjoy it. And remember,
safe travels on the trail.
Is that something he says?
No.
All right, see you later.
Safe travels on the trails.
Bye.